I officially made over $1 million with my business, and honestly, it was a mistake. It took me around 4 years to make $1 million. I'm gonna show you exactly everything that I did wrong, all the mistakes I made, so hopefully you don't make the same mistakes. So in my first year, I made about $50,000, $45,000, $50,000. Second year, I made $150,000. Third year, I made $500,000, and so far this year, $300,000 on track to make $700,000, hopefully get to $1 million. So I've got $1 million cash collected total, a little over $1 million cash collected total. Now, if I was to restart this entire process, I think I might be able to make $1 million in 2 years if I did it all over again. Probably not one whole year, just because, I mean, a year really isn't a long time. As I learned doing my first year, I was trying to make $1 million the first year of me doing this. Did not work out, obviously, but here's some of the mistakes I made and how to avoid them. The first thing I did wrong was I targeted people who didn't make any money. That was my first mistake. So I was first targeting pest control companies. And the reason for pest control companies is just because I was reaching out to a whole bunch of different industries, and pest control companies were very easy to get a hold of. It was very easy to get them on the phone. And so I thought, well, if it's easy to get them on the phone, it should be easy for me to sell to them. Now, when I started reaching out to them, I remember like one of my first actual sales call was the guy in the Bay Area. And he was like, man, I just do bed bugs, and I remember having a really hard time. I don't have any money in my bank. I can't get any more leads. I just need something that will work for me. And so I was like trying to work out a deal with him where we will work on commission, and he doesn't have to pay me anything, but any job I send his way, he'll pay me a commission, whatever. And he was really interested in that. But then it just didn't really work out long term. He just stopped talking to me, ghosted me. Anytime anyone asks to work on commission, it never really works out, so I would never do that. And then I would keep going and kept going. So for 2 months, I was trying to get appointments. It was hard to get appointments, but by the time I was getting appointments, I did close one guy. And this is December 2020 and January 2021. This is when I was starting this and targeting those industries. And within pest control, the one client I had, he paid me $600. Now, I had a media buyer that I hired, and I had to pay him $600. So basically, I'm making $0 off of this deal, just trying to get my first client in the door. It was pulling teeth trying to get this client. It was so annoying because he was like, well, how do I know it's going to work, or what guarantees do you have? So I had to create a crazy guarantee for him. I had to try to reassure him. I was texting him back and forth with these long paragraphs, like, hey, we're going to get this workable, and it's very, very frustrating. But eventually he did pay me. And this led me to my second mistake, which is hiring someone that I didn't know have proven experience. And this is such a huge point. Please get this. So when I was starting, I'm starting a marketing agency. I'm reaching out to pest control companies. I get this guy as a client. I basically guarantee this client we're going to help him get more bed bug heat treatments. That's what I was guaranteeing, bed bug heat treatments. And so we're going to do marketing for him. We're going to do Facebook ads and Google ads for him to help him get more bed bug heat treatments, okay? That's the whole business model. Now, I don't really know how to run ads for him, right? So I'd done ads in the past for a soccer company. I thought this might be a little different. So I hire a media buyer. Go on Upwork. I look for people that run ads for pest control companies. And I found this guy who's a media buyer, which is a media buyer is just someone that runs ads for you, you know? This guy was going to charge me $600. And so he charges me $600. I get the client for $600, again, making $0 off of this deal. And this guy said, you know, he was almost like probably the first person I talked to. Maybe I talked to 3 or 4 people, but one of the first persons I talked to. And he said that, oh yeah, we're going to get this, and this is going to be very easy for us, and the campaign shouldn't be too difficult, and we'll give you everything that you need, whatever, and just basically selling me, right? But he didn't have any case studies of actually working. He didn't have any case studies I actually saw because I didn't really ask for them. He also didn't have any proof of working with pest control companies, right? And he just said that he's worked in this industry before. Yes, I have. Yes, of course. And then once we started running ads, I remember I ran ads again for this soccer company before, and I did them very successfully. I had different tricks that I used to make sure the ads were performing properly, but this guy wasn't using any of those strategies. He had very weird ads that he was posting. It just wasn't very good. I was like, I won't even click this. I don't even know why this is here. It was just very weird. And so I was like, I mean, it just didn't seem like he was good at the ads. And we knew he wasn't good because there was no leads coming in, right? There was people that were opting into a forum, people that were kind of coming in, but really no new clients coming from these ads that we were posting. And we're spending money on these ads, right? And so eventually, after 2 or 3 weeks, we've spent about $300 on the ads so far. The guy says, hey, I don't think it's going to work. I want my money back. And so now I have to give his $600 back. But of course, I gave him the worst guarantee, which is, oh, if we waste money on ad spend, I'll give you the ad spend budget back as well. So we spent $300 on ads. I had to give him back the $300, which we've already given to Facebook. I can't get the money back, right? So I have to give him an extra $300 for that. So I basically lose $900 on my first deal. And the guy, that I hired to help me do the ads, he gave me a guarantee. He said, hey, look, if it doesn't work, I'll give you your money back too, right? This is through Upwork. And so I said, hey man, it didn't work. He wanted his money back. Can I get my money back? He said no, obviously, or he just didn't respond at all. And so basically I'm just out. It's $900 now. So whenever you hire someone, always make sure you want to have, let me see the proof of what you've done in the past. You have to show me proof. If you're hiring a closer, you say, hey closer, show me any call recordings you've done in the past. If they say, oh, I'm just getting started, too bad. I'm not going to hire you. If they say, oh, I've done this plenty of times, but I had a guy saying, oh, I don't need to show you call recordings. If you don't believe me, I'm like, yeah, I don't believe you. Sorry, bye. If they say, oh, I had recordings, but I don't have it anymore, I can't show you any proof right now, but I can guarantee I can do a couple calls for you for free if you want to try that. No, we're not going to waste any of our time. There are plenty of people out there with plenty of really good experience, and it's very easy to hire them. Everyone's looking for a job, and so you always want to find someone that already has a lot of experience, because hiring someone at ground zero, helping them go from zero to something is very hard. And then especially hiring someone that doesn't really know what they're doing, and they're lying to you saying that they do know what they're doing, that's even worse, okay? So a couple months down the road, I was trying to hire cold callers, and I was looking for cold calling teams. And so I was on Upwork looking for cold calling teams. People were applying for my job, and I was doing calls with people. I was like, hey, what's up, man? I'm just looking for a cold calling team. Do you have any numbers you could show me? Anything that you could show me that cold calls that you've done in the past, anything like that? And they're like, oh man, I could give you some numbers, but it really depends on the industry and what we're targeting. It's like, yeah, that's cool. I understand that, but is there any campaigns, like literally anything you can show me that you've done cold calls in the past? He seemed like a really nice guy. What he did was he hung up the phone on Zoom. He left the Zoom meeting, and then he blocked me on Upwork. I didn't even know you could block people on Upwork. So because I was looking for proof, and I was adamant about, hey, just anything, show me. I don't care if it's a different industry. I don't care what it is. If you just show me anything that you've done cold calling before, just show me. Didn't have anything and decided to block me because of that. So now from here, I started targeting roofing and solar companies just because they obviously make more money. So I was still not getting very many appointments, but I was getting maybe 2 to 3 appointments per week. But these people had more money. They weren't hesitant on the phone. They didn't say, oh, we don't have the money to spend on that, right? They seemed like they had money, right? So I still wasn't really closing up very many deals. Or really any deals at all, but at least I was talking to people that had money at this point, right? So the roofing and solar companies. But then the third mistake I made was that I was following everyone else. The problem was I listened to these gurus they sold me a course. They said, hey, you want to do LinkedIn outreach this specific way. You want to do Facebook outreach this specific way. You want to do cold email outreach, right? And just giving me very basic scripts that were not working at all, giving me very basic offers, giving me very basic tools that I knew weren't going to really work for me. And so I was just sending out messages because, okay, this guru told me to do it and they know what they're doing. So I just got to follow their advice. So let me just do what everybody else is doing, which is sending out these messages these ways, right? But after 2-3 months, right? This is now February of 2021. I was like, this isn't working for me. Obviously, I'm getting maybe 2 or 3 appointments per week. I need to find a way to get more appointments. Whatever this guy said, this guru said, is not working. So I need to find something that's working. So I thought to myself, what would I respond to? Why aren't people responding to my messages? Well, I don't really respond to any emails because it kind of looks scammy. Or I don't respond to LinkedIn messages because it just looks. I'm not even on LinkedIn that much. And so why would I respond on there? I always look at my text messages. Okay, I'm getting a list of solar and roofing companies. I'm getting all their emails. I'm sending them an email, but no one's responding there. What if I just sent them all a text message? Because I read all my texts. I looked at a statistic. It said that 98% of texts are read within the first 5 minutes. Why is no one doing that? And so I was like, let me try this. So I set up a campaign. I sent out 100 texts on a Saturday afternoon. I got 10 booked calls within like 30 minutes of doing this text campaign. So that Monday I had 10 booked calls, call after call after call after call. And I recorded this whole process. This is me in California doing this whole process and everything. And I got like 2 clients the first day of me actually setting up those campaigns. So I made like $2,800 that first day of doing it. And then from there, now I have a consistent system for getting 10 sales calls per day just because I didn't follow the norm. If I would have done what those other people were telling me to do, I would still be where I was, which was trying to target pest control companies, because every guru says stick to that niche and stick to it for a year, which is a really dumb idea. Do not do that. And I was sticking to the outreach strategies that they were telling me to do, and those outreach strategies sucked. From there, I've been able to innovate, and I come up with all these crazy strategies because I just think about, okay, what catches my attention? What if I just did that for myself? So another example, something I innovated on. I actually changed Google by doing this. I'm going to tell you the story of that. So I remember I was watching a movie on one of those piracy websites, right? The 123movie.com, right? Do not sue me. I don't know what movie it was, but I was just watching a movie, right? And I remember it comes up with all these ads and says, your phone is hacked, right? And you're like, all right, I know my phone isn't hacked, but you swipe it away and then you go back to the movie, right? And so one ad came up and it said, click add or something like that, and you click add or submit or something like that, and I accidentally clicked submit. I don't really know what happened, but I just swiped away and then I went to the movie again. And then 30 minutes later, I got a notification saying, hey, you're hacked, right? Your phone's hacked. And then I got another notification saying, you need to fix your phone right now. Click this link. And it just kept sending me notifications every 20, 30 minutes saying that my phone was hacked. I was like, what the heck is this? Obviously, and now this is coming from my calendar app on my phone. So all that happened was basically when I clicked submit, or add or something like that, it just added a calendar to my current calendar, and it added all these events, these fake events, and then the thing would come up and it would say that your phone was hacked, and it was really just a calendar event. And I was like, well, what if I added calendar events on other people's calendar? How would I be able to add calendar events on other people's calendar? Well, if you just create a calendar, right, and on Google Calendar, if you add somebody else's email into an event, then it will automatically show up on their calendar, right? So I can add anybody's email. So what I started doing, I was sending 5,000 calendars, events to people where on their calendar it would show up on a Monday at 10 a.m. It would say, hey, we have a call at this time. People would be like, what the heck is this? And then click into it. It would have this huge description on what exactly I do, how it works, and if you want to book a call with me, you can click in your book below. And I was able to basically get a ton of booked calls. It did not cost me anything to do. There was no spam filter. There was nothing, you can just send it to anybody, so there's no spam. And so you don't have to worry about going into the inbox or anything like that. And I created this new crazy strategy that cost completely free and got really, really good results. And then Google actually changed the way they do things, where they said, hey, basically an invite counts as an email, so if you send too many invites, it'll start actually going to spam, and people have to start approving them, so it's not going to automatically show up on their calendar. So that started happening after I kind of shared it with a few people. Other people were using it a ton. So always be trying to test new things and try new things that nobody else is really doing, because you could just find some huge innovation where you're going to get plenty of clients because no one else has this innovation, right? So if I kept that to myself and I was selling it as a service, I could have like this huge blue ocean, because no one else is doing this thing. No one else is doing Google Calendar invites, right? Or no one else was doing texting, right? And that's how I was able to grow really quickly. Now, my next mistake was that I didn't actually copy other people. Now, it might sound weird where I just said, hey, you don't want to copy, gurus, whatever. But I think copying is a good thing. So you know that Steve Jobs quote, which is like, good artists take inspiration, but great artists steal, something like that. I remember watching a whole bunch of gurus. I was watching Sam Ovens, I was watching Bastian Saltz, I was watching Trey Cockrum, and a few others. And I remember Sam Ovens specifically. This is a guy, if you don't know who it is, he just is this business guy who has a New Zealand accent, and he was saying, I'm going to say it in his accent, people try to copy me all the time, but you cannot copy me because I have the best products, I've got the best solution, and all the clients are going to come to me. So if you try to copy me, you're not going to get anywhere. So I thought, well, I can't copy him, I can't do what he does because he owns the market, right? He's the guru, and I can never be what he is, right? Which is the fallacy that really all of them, they put you in that frame of you suck, I'm the best, follow me. So I bought his course, I go through it, and throughout the course, he's like, okay, now pick a niche. I'm like, oh, I don't know, what niche do I pick? And I'm not gonna give you a niche. He says, I'm not gonna give you a niche because people always copy my niches, right? And I'm like, well, who am I supposed to copy, right? Or how am I supposed to find something myself when I have no other skills, I have no other talents, right? So by the end of the course, you learn kind of how to grow a consulting business, but you don't have a consulting business because you don't really know what to start. You don't really know who to target, how to help people, whatever, right? And so you know how to sell this thing. Well, I could resell what he was doing, but he just told me I can't resell it because I wouldn't win, right? And so hopefully that makes sense. But afterwards, I would look at people on Facebook, and I would see people selling the exact same thing that he was selling, literally the exact same way, and all the graphics looked exactly the same. It was like the website, their current website looked exactly the same as his website. And guess what? They were making millions of dollars, copying him directly. And I saw it over and over, and so many people that were copying him directly that I could tell that they were making good money, and people were coming to them. It was very easy for them to get clients, copying him directly. And so I thought, I'm sitting here stuck. I have no clue what to do. I have no clue how to get clients. I have no clue what to even sell. And yet these guys are just copying him when he said not to copy them. So I can't do that because now the market's too saturated. I can't, whatever. And then one day I was scrolling through Facebook, right? And this is when I stopped working with roofing and solar companies. I had no clue what to do with my life. I was literally just sitting at home. And for some random reason that day I was scrolling through Facebook. And I remember I saw the post and it just said, does anyone need help getting appointments? And I remembered, okay, well, I was pretty good at getting appointments with these roofing and solar companies by doing SMS outreach and a few other like Google Calendar invites type stuff. I found really unique ways of getting clients, but I didn't really know what to do with that information, right? So I had good ways of getting clients, but I just I was very bad at doing solar ads. I didn't want to start another agency, whatever. But this guy said, does anyone need help getting appointments? And it had 60 comments of people saying, I need help, I need help, I need help. And so I was like, this looks really easy to sell. I didn't even know this was an option, right? I didn't even know you could resell this. And so I was like, what if I just took my strategies that I already figured out on how to get appointments? I helped other agencies because they're good at running ads, they're good at fulfillment, whatever. I'm not very good at running ads. What if I just help them get appointments, they sell them, and then they run the ads and everybody's happy? And so what I did is I literally copied his post. I went right-click, copy, right? and then I pasted that post, and I posted it into the same exact Facebook group that he posted in, right? I got about 30 comments on my post. He got 60, I got 30, cool. I got 2 clients from that initial post, and I actually talked to the guy that posted that, and I said, hey, how did that go for you? He said, oh man, we made our first 10K just by posting that. Awesome. I made my first 8K posting that. Literally, I made my first $8,000 just literally copying what he posted, which is really insane. My entire business today is helping people get more appointments, and I would not be here if I didn't copy this guy named Danny. I literally copied him. I've made $1 million copying someone else. So I would implore you to copy any guru that's telling you not to copy them. You should probably copy them. They're only telling you that to preserve themselves. They're saying, you suck, you can't do this, I can do this because I'm going to win, and you can't copy me because I'm better than you. And they're only saying that so that you don't get into the market, because they know how easy it is to get clients in this market. An easy way you can copy people is by going to Facebook groups and just seeing who has posted something where they're trying to sell something, right? Where they post a sales post saying, hey, is anyone interested in this thing? And if they have 60, 70 comments or over 100 comments of people interested, then that probably means it's probably easy to sell, and I would copy it directly. If you see YouTube videos, this is a very good example. If you see YouTube videos and say they're popping off, or someone's channel where they're selling this specific thing and they're getting tons of views, then you want to copy it directly, because that means it's working. That means they're selling a lot of it, which means it's probably easy for you. If there's just one other channel in the industry, if they're getting 100,000, 1 million views per video, you can probably get 10,000 views per video and still make a ton of money just with 10,000 views. I've seen people make tens of thousands of dollars with just a couple hundred views per video. Sorry, I'm really passionate about that one, all right? So next one, the next mistake I made was I focused too much on clients because I'm such a nice guy. I'm so perfect, right? And so I was focusing on clients, trying to make them happy. In March, I made $9,000, $8,900, $9,000. In April, I made $16,000. But then in May, I only made $6,000. So what happened? Why did I go from 9 to 16 back to 6? So what happened was, in May, I started to focus on, let me make sure all my clients are happy. So I stopped doing any cold outreach. I stopped trying to get more clients for myself. I started trying to just make sure I was setting up this campaign and doing that for this person, whatever, which obviously is a noble cause. But then that led to me not getting more clients in the door. And so I've said this on several other videos, but you have to think of cold outreach or like trying to get clients or prospecting as a plane or a train, right? If you start the train going, it might take 2 or 3 weeks to get consistent calls coming in the door, get consistent leads coming in the door. For me, it took me like 3 months before I was getting consistent calls coming in, 10 sales calls per day. But then once I was getting it going, I was getting consistent calls and I was closing people left and right, right? But then if you start focusing on clients, then it's like the train stops or the airplane crashes, right? And then we have to try to get the airplane back up and running, which is going to take another 2 to 3 weeks. So for May, I was like trying to help these clients. And then I was like, I realized, I need to keep getting more clients. So then I started trying to do cold outreach again, but this is end of May now. And now I've only gotten, like I say, 2 or 3 new clients. But now I'm behind because I was thinking we're going to keep growing. But I wasn't really focusing on getting more clients in the door, so therefore no clients were coming in the door, right? So you always want to think of it as, we always want to try to create new opportunities. Every single day should be a day to try to create new opportunities to get more sales. So I'm sitting here on a Saturday. This is the second video I've been recording. I'm just trying to get this. I'm only recording this video to get more sales in the door. That's all I'm doing, right? And so every single day, what I would try to do is I would implore you, your morning should be about how do I get more clients in the door. So your entire morning should be that, okay? And then you can focus on your clients. I was up till 1:30 last night working on a client's campaign. Like most of your clients' work is going to be very simple, brain dead tasks that you could do in your sleep, right? The hard stuff or the stuff that you need to really be focusing on is just making sure like more clients are coming in the door, and you need to focus on that every single day because again, if the train stops, it's going to be hard to get the train back up and running 2 or 3 weeks of that. If the airplane stops, right, or if we crash the airplane, you have to get it off the runway, and like I think what I've heard is like 80% of the fuel is used on the takeoff from an airplane, right? So it's going to take a lot of energy and effort just to get it off the ground, but once it's off the ground, it's smooth sailing. But if we crash again, if we just stop doing cold outreach or we stop for 2 or 3 weeks, then we have to restart again, okay? So just keep that in mind. Don't focus 100% on your clients. Focus on, make sure you're doing prospecting for yourself, make sure you're a priority for yourself, and then focus on clients. And the next big mistake I made, which a lot of people don't really talk about this, I sold monthly retainers. That was actually a mistake. So if you have an agency, what you're usually trying to do is sell a $1,500 per month retainer, a $2,000 per month retainer, plus ad spend or plus whatever else, right? The problem with this, what I realized, is that a client would be very happy the first month and then very mad the second month, where they say, oh, I'm really happy with this, right? So I had a client, I got him like 80 calls the first month, right? Then the second month, we got him 40 calls, right? So imagine you go to McDonald's and McDonald's says, we have this new special offer. It's $10 a month and you can come in and get a cheeseburger anytime for $10 a month, right? You come in and then sometimes they're like, oh, we don't have any more cheeseburgers. And you're like, well, I paid $10 a month for unlimited cheeseburger. What are you talking about? And then the next day you come in, oh, I don't have any cheeseburgers. And then the next month you come in, they have, oh, we have 100 cheeseburgers. You want 100 cheeseburgers? And you're like, I guess, sure, why not, right? And so you're not going to stay on that subscription for a long time because it's a variable. Like some months you get 40 cheeseburgers, some months you get 0 cheeseburgers. Why would I do that? Why don't I just pay per cheeseburger? Right? It's the same thing with this, right? If I get them 100 leads the first month and they pay me $2,000 for the 100 leads, they're very happy, right? And then the next month they pay another $2,000, the exact same price, and they got 10 leads. Why that? Like I got a tenth of what I got before, and I paid the exact same price. So why would I keep paying for it, right? And so the value needs to consistently be there. And so how to fix that problem is if we do a pay per call or a pay per model, which is what I used to do is I did like $500 per month. So a small retainer, $500 a month, plus $50, $100, $150 per call that I booked for that. The small retainer is negligible. It's not really, I just say it's an admin fee, or it's just how I pay for some of the softwares that I need to run your campaign. So you're not really making any money off of that. You just make money off the calls that you bring them or the leads that you bring them. So if I bring you a lead, you're going to pay me $100 per lead. So now, if I bring them 40 leads this month, they're going to pay me $4,000 plus the $500. If I bring them 10 leads this month, they're only going to pay me $1,000. So the clients that I had on a pay per model basis or on a one-time fee basis, it was much easier to manage them. They were much happier. They stayed on longer term. And so I would definitely do that. And so what I started doing was either selling a pay per call, which is $500 a month plus $100 per call, or I would sell a one-time fee. Hey, it's $3,000. I'll help you set up everything, and then you go from there. And it was much easier to sell that. Also, who do you know? Like I make a good money, all right? I don't want to pay anyone a $2,000 per month. I don't ever pay anyone a $2,000 per month retainer, and I never have. And so like trying to get a business owner who has less margins than I do, who's making less money than I am, and trying to get them to commit to $2,000 a month is very, very difficult. Or the next big mistake I made, which might not seem like a big deal, but it is a huge one, and it's partnering up with people. And so when I was first starting and I was getting off the ground, right, I started selling the, hey, I'll help you get appointments, right? And people would come to me and they'd be like, actually, I might need you to work with me because I need this for my clients. I need it for myself, but I also need it for my clients. So I need you to help me, right? And so I was like, oh yeah, sure, we'll work together, right? So I was partnering with all these different people. So I had like 4 or 5 different partnerships. And then after a while, where I'm working with them for a month and say, oh, can you help me with this campaign? Can you help me with that client? Or can you build out some SOPs for this thing? And can you train my team on how to do this thing? And I was like, how am I getting paid here? Like where's the money coming from? Like we didn't set up a percentage. We didn't set up a commission thing. They're not paying me per month. What is the point of this partnership? And so partnerships rarely work because, okay, both of you are trying to get the maximum amount of money. You're both trying to get as much money as you can. You have 2 different visions. You have this, I'm trying to go this way and you're trying to go that way. 2 different visions entirely. And only you really have value. So you're trying to, if people are coming to you saying, hey, I want a partnership, right? Only you're providing value to them. They're not really not doing anything for you. So now you're losing, like let's say we're doing 50-50 partnership, right? You're losing 50% of what you would have made just doing it yourself. And now you're relying on them to do some of the work, which they're not going to do anyways. And so now you have this partnership where it just sucks for you. You're doing all this work and you're not even getting paid at all, which is what happened to me. One crazy example is I had a guy that came to me. I first started making videos on like how to get leads and like how to do the B2B stuff, how to get more appointments, all that jazz. And I was posting them into Facebook groups. One guy really liked my videos. He said I was really good at it. And he wasn't very good on camera. He said he wanted me to make the videos for him. He wanted me to manage some of the clients for him. And so basically it became, I was almost the head of his company, really, where I was managing clients, I was creating copy for him, I was setting up campaigns, I was making videos for him, I was managing the Facebook group for him, managing some of his team for him, and he never paid me for any of it. Never paid me for any of it. He said, oh, well, we're going to work on a deal where we're currently making this much per month, but if you get the company to grow more, we'll pay you more. I'm like, okay, you want me to run your entire company? And if you maybe make more money, then theoretically you're going to pay me, right? Maybe you're actually going to pay me. He only paid me for one guy, and the only reason he paid me was because this client wanted my services specifically, and so he knew that I wasn't going to work for free on that specific campaign because only I could do it, right? And so, but everyone else is like, oh yeah, can you just write this copy real quick? You know, we're partners, right? You can just write the copy real quick. Okay, I never got paid for that. Can you do the sales call for me real quick? And so I would do sales calls for him, not getting paid a single dime. And at the end, dude, it was crazy. I said, look, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to work for free, all this jazz. I've got bills I got to pay. I can't work for you for free, right? And at the end, he's like, oh, you owe me money. You have to pay me because you wouldn't be where you are without me. I was like, what are you talking about? I was better at writing copy. I was better at doing the sales call. He sucked at everything. And in the end, I realized I was actually better than him at a lot of these things. But I was thinking, and afterwards, I was like, well, I can't really do what he did. I can't really create a company like he did. And then I was thinking about, okay, why can I do that? Why can I do what he did? And I was like, well, I was getting better results than he was. My copy was better. My videos were better. Like everything that I was doing was better than what he was doing. Why couldn't I do that? And the reason I had that vision in my head, or like I couldn't do this, was because he was the expert, quote unquote, the expert. Like he was the guru. And so he was, again, like all the other gurus saying, hey, you can't copy me because I'm the best and you're the worst and you need to pay me in order to blah, 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 right? And so because he positioned himself as the guru, even though he was worse than me, I had this frame in my mind that I couldn't be him because he was a guru and I wasn't, right? Which then I realized is that no guru is really a guru. They all suck. And the only real difference between a guru and you is that you're the one trying to get fed and they're the one trying to feed you, okay? So what I mean by that is he created a Facebook group. He owned this Facebook group and he would create content consistently in the Facebook group. And so for me, I was like, well, I don't have a Facebook group and he has 3,000, 4,000 members. I don't have 4,000 members. How am I gonna get any people in my Facebook group? He's just an expert because random people joined his Facebook group. That's it. And that was like, afterwards, I was realizing, okay, it's probably not that difficult to get people to join the Facebook group. And I guess I know more than he did, so if I could just make videos on what he was talking about, but do it better because I know more than him, why could I not be the guru? Because he has almost no clue what he's talking about, and yet everyone puts him on the pedestal. So why wouldn't people put me on the pedestal? So then I became, instead of trying to get fed from him, like, hey, can you help me? I want to work for you, or like, the only reason I was working for him for free is because I thought he knew more than I did, but then I realized, again, I was better than him at everything, so why don't I just start feeding other people? And so this was my last mistake, which is I didn't focus on inbound sooner, which inbound means getting people to come to you. So as soon as you can start selling the step behind you, you need to be doing that. And so if you learn something about how to, I don't know, just what you've learned so far in this video, you could easily take this entire video, turn it into a Facebook post and say, hey, look, I'm an expert on these things. Here's what I learned over the past 4 years and all the mistakes I made, right? You could easily just steal this from me, right? And people will just see you as an expert if you start portraying yourself. Whoever speaks the loudest, honestly, is the one that wins in this market. It's really just an attention economy, right? And so if I'm the one that's making YouTube videos, you're coming to me, right? Because you think I'm the expert, right? You're sitting here consuming me, so I'm feeding you. And therefore you buy from me because I'm the one feeding you and you see me as the expert. And so the sooner that you start feeding other people, the sooner that you start trying to teach other people, the sooner you will make way more money. So I think that was the main hiccup, is that I did not do that sooner. Okay, I'll give you a story. There is a guy named Troy Cockrum and Bastian Slots, two different guys, right? Troy Cockrum has his own YouTube channel, and I would watch them during this time, during 2020, 2019, right? He would make videos on how he was starting an agency, how it was working for him, and he started getting clients, right? And I would watch him as he's the guru. He knows what he's doing, right? And he would create these slideshow presentations on here's how to create a 10K SMA. Now that I look back on them, they're very primitive. They're very easy. And I was like, man, anybody could do this, right? But he knew more than I did, right? So he's selling this course on how to start an agency. This guy named Bastian Slots buys his course. This guy named Bastian Slots also tries to get clients. He then gets 2 clients in the plastic surgeon industry with his agency, and then can't really get any more clients because he finds it hard to get more clients. And then he asked Trey Cockrum, hey Trey, can you just help me try to resell how to start an agency to people that want to start an agency? So he has only built an agency to 2 clients, and then he starts trying to sell to people how to start an agency, how to start a successful agency, right? And guess what? I was one of the idiots that bought from Bastian Slots how to start an agency. So I paid him $3,000 to teach me how to start an agency. And that was what I was saying in the beginning. I followed his advice, which was the basic advice, which is do these bad messages, send these bad emails, right? These crappy scripts that he was using, right? Because again, he barely knew how to do it. And so he sold that to me, and then now I'm using his stuff, right? And so he just, again, sold this, and this is something that he said in one of his videos. He's like, oh, you just want to sell the step behind you. So he learned how to just get 2 clients, and then he started selling to other people, and he's made millions of dollars just how to become successful, how to become a successful coach, right? How to become a successful agency. And all he did was learn very little and then resold it to me. And then I sat there for a year not knowing what to do, not knowing if I was good enough or whatever. And then once I realized that I need to focus on inbound, try to get people to come to me, try to feed other people, because I really did know a lot. At that point, I did know how to get more appointments, how to get more clients. And I knew more than these other gurus. And I was like, well, why don't I make videos? So then I did start making videos. And after 3 months, I was getting 40 to 60 calls per month consistently from my inbound videos. I created a Facebook group. I got thousands of members in the Facebook group, people coming to me every single day saying, how do you help me? How can you help me? I saw that you're really good at this. I want to know how you can help me. And it wasn't that I was like posting really good testimonials or people were talking about me. It was just I was telling everybody, hey, I'm the best. You should come to me. You should follow me because I know what I'm doing. And here's exactly what you need to do, right? And then people started coming to me because they assumed that I was the expert just because I started posting and started trying to feed other people. So do that as soon as you can. So again, start inbound as soon as you can. Start trying to feed people. Do not partner with anyone. Sell one-time products or contingent on something. So instead of selling a monthly retainer, sell to each individual cheeseburger. Never stop selling, so you always want to focus on getting more clients for yourself. Copy other people. I literally would not be in business today if I didn't copy someone else. Don't do what everyone else is doing. doing. Try to innovate and create new strategies for yourself. Only hire people if they have experience, and target people who already have money. If you want a system to consistently get 120 sales calls per month, you want to help me to build you an agency to 30K per month guaranteed, you can book a call directly with me below. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.